House of Europe. House of Europe – це програма, що фінансується
House of Europe
Європейським
is a
Союзом,
program financed by
створена
the
з метою
European
підтримки
Union,
професійного та
created
творчого
to
обміну між
support
українцями та їхніми
professional exchange between the European and Ukrainian colleagues in the European Union. We are focusing on the sectors of culture and the creative sector.
We like to say that House of Europe is about connecting people and opportunities. So what does that mean? We want to connect professionals in Ukraine with their colleagues in the European Union.
Мене звати Катерина Носко, і я співзасновниця видавництва East Publishing. Ми вже встигли взяти участь у 2 open call'ах, це грант на переклади, а також грант мобільності.
Hello, my name is Georg Stecker. We are a partner in Austria of this production. The running or the leading partner for this work is the ensemble, the company Nova Opera. And I have to be honest, myself, I'm learning. That's what this production is bringing to me, or the connection with the ensemble Nova Opera in the last 2 years. I'm learning about how much artistical excellency is underway.
Мене звуть Гаврилюк Марія, я співзасновниця проєкту Гуня Project. Ми розуміли, що в нас немає бізнес-освіти і що нам потрібна якісна оцінка професіоналів. Ну і, власне, за цим ми пішли в Creative Business Academy.
Мене звати Богдан Волинський. Ми знаходимося в ДАШ. Це дитяча архітектурна школа. Сама академія дає можливість побачити себе в глобальному контексті. Ти весь час спілкуєшся з різними людьми, з різних куточків світу, у яких є досвід. Так значно легше уявляти свій шлях.
The House of Europe is mostly an EU-funded project. There is a network of cultural organizations from the EU that are active in Ukraine. It's called OINIC. Out of this OINIC network, 4 have formed a consortium that actually takes this grant from the European Union and implements it on their behalf. This consortium is made up of the Goethe Institute, which is the lead implementer, the British Council, the Institut Français and the Czech Center. And those 4 organizations manage the implementation of House of Europe, but they also closely work together with the other EU national cultural institutes in Ukraine. House of Europe is working with 6 sectors: culture and creative industries. That's the biggest part of the program. Second is education, media and journalism, social entrepreneurship, health. And we're working with youth and people that are working with youth. There are more than 20 program lines.
Проект «Первая выставка гаража 127» существует при поддержке Дома Европы House of Europe и программы Creative Youth. Это наш первый грант, который мы получаем вместе с гаражом. Кроме того, это первый международный проект для гаража.
I'm Winnie Herbstein. I'm an artist. I came on as a mentor. I spoke about my reading of the work from my context and then encouraged the artists to speak about what their work meant coming from their context. A lot of the artists are making work that is political and really interesting work, and it was really exciting to see that. But as time went on and I began speaking with people and carrying on my conversations with Anton and Anastasia, I began to understand more where these artists were coming from, and that was really important for me.
We also have several dedicated program lines that target the region specifically. So one we call the pop-up hubs, and here the idea really is that this House of Europe pops up in a different place, in an already existing house of a cultural organization or a creative hub somewhere in a regional center of Ukraine. And then there is a second program line for those regions where there even is no such infrastructure. And here we are building our own infrastructure. We are building a mobile, transportable house, a mobile pavilion, by which we will be traveling through the periphery of the country and show up in places for a couple of weeks, providing a space for artists, for creative minds, for activists, for agents of change.
The House of Europe holds a special place within the European Union's support to Ukraine. Its budget exceeds 12 million euro for 4 years of activities. Its target groups are uniquely dynamic and among the most active ones: artists, creative entrepreneurs, media and healthcare professionals, teachers, young people. Together with their colleagues and fellows all over the EU, in the House of Europe, they all exchange views, share their projects, debate, and help build a future that is more inclusive, more resilient, and more creative.
It's about going to the people, giving people a place where they can actually meet each other, where they can encounter, and which they can inhabit with their ideas and with their fantasy.
Отже, дякую колегам за те, що
Thank you very
показали
much, colleagues,
наш проморолик
for showing our promo video of the House of Europe, and I hope that I'm audible and I'm heard sufficiently well. Today, myself and Evgeny Monastyrsky of the House of Europe Alumni Association have the pleasure of moderating this guest program, which is called the Marathon of Opportunity. The Marathon of Opportunity is the presentation of 6 most current creative opportunities which are available for our creative entrepreneur partners. So we're starting with the Creative Enterprise Program. It's an educational program for creative entrepreneurs, which allows to evaluate the business idea, financials, and potential of development. All of this is happening in potential training sessions and expert consultations and interaction with budding fellow budding entrepreneurs. It's conducted based on the UK Nesta methodology. This is implemented by the British Council. At 15:40, you have an opportunity to watch the Digital Labs program, which unites Ukrainian entrepreneurs with similar experience to look for further solutions for their collaboration. They take this knowledge from the invited experts. Digital Labs is also implemented by the British Council under the umbrella of the House of Europe. After that, we have the Creative Accelerator presentation at 16:10. This year, this program is implemented by the Ukrainian Cultural Fund and the British Council and the SME Development Office of the Ministry of Economy of Ukraine. The participation in this program allows its participants to understand how to use their own project to create a workable business model and how to make it viable for investment and to find investors in the future. The Creative Accelerator program was accessible to the grantees of the Ukrainian Cultural Fund, and we will listen to its alumni. We will also listen. Next, we will listen to the Office for Promotion of Expert, which is an advisory body, which is a part of the Ukrainian Enterprise Network. And now the Export Promotion Office provides numerous opportunities for creative entrepreneurs who want to export their products and services abroad. And finally, we have 2 more presentations. One for the Creative Business Academy, which is an intense 2-week training structured as a boot camp, which allows some very specific practical skills for resolving business challenges. And at 17:30, we will have the presentation of the Creative Business Cup program, which is the Eurovision for creative entrepreneurs and startups. House of Europe is the organizer and lead partner of the Creative Business Cup Ukraine, whose finalists will have an opportunity to represent Ukraine at the global contest next year, which is called Creative Business Cup Pride Global Finals in Copenhagen, Denmark, where global competitors will compete for the name of the Global Startup of the Year and the monetary prize. This year, we hold the first iteration of the Creative Business Cup, and we have Creative Practice. And next year, the startup will represent Ukraine in Copenhagen, and we will talk about this opportunity at 17:30. And as you can hear, the development of projects and pitchings and boot camps and laboratories, all of these opportunities for creative business will be presented today in the special program by House of Europe at the Creative Ukraine Forum. I wish you successful presentations and have fun listening in.
Вітаю. Мене звуть Євгеній Монастирський. Я є менеджером освітніх програм і спільноти випускників House of Europe. І сьогодні я маю таку дуже велику приємність представити першу програму марафону можливостей для креативних підприємців Creative Enterprise Ukraine. Creative Enterprise Ukraine – це такий тренінг, що допомагає креативним підприємцям організувати свій бізнес. Учасники вчаться визначати візію, аудиторію свого бізнесу, вони розбираються в маркетингу, управлінні фінансами, бізнес-плануванні, все допомагаючи освоїти фасилітатори та методології business. They use facilitators and methodology developed by Nesta geared at creative industries. Creative Enterprise Ukraine is a program by House of Europe managed by the British Council under the umbrella of the House of Europe. More about the format and the bonuses of this program will be presented by Anna Karnauk, Senior Project Manager by the British Council of Ukraine. And she's implementing this program and developing training trips to the creative hubs of the EU. Anna, the mic is yours. Thank you, Evgen. Good day to everyone. I'd like to share the presentation and we will start. Okay, can you see my presentation? Great. So, Creative Enterprise Ukraine. Evgen said this is a training, but this is an actual program which consists of several elements, one of which is a training. I will tell you about all of the components of the program today, and I hope that all of our I think Creative Enterprise is a good program, and I hope that you all apply to it if you find it relevant to you. First, let me give you a few figures, and this forum, I think, this forum has mentioned a lot about the importance of creative industry and the share of the GDP and the employment in creative industries, and I will also allow myself to come back to the figures. This is the
2016 data, and here you can see the percentage of the global GDP and the number of employees in the world, the contribution of creative economy into the global GDP of the UK, and the number of people who are involved in the creative industries in the UK, which is 1.8 million people. Now, as far as I understand, this figure is much higher, and for your reference, the number of the UK has about 66 million population. Like Yevhen mentioned before, the author of Creative Enterprise Program is the British Innovation Agency, Nesta. Nesta is a special agency which works in different industries, which is medicine and education and the social area services, and including the creative industries. And the goal of this agency is to develop innovations, and these innovations are then implemented in the different areas of the state. And so Nesta, 10 years ago, has traced the process that in the UK there was a lot of creative people who were either trying to start up their business or were actually starting up their business, but recognized that they lacked understanding and expertise in the business side of the creative industries, which means that they did not understand enough how the business process worked, and what business tools are available. In order to develop creative industries, Nesta decided to develop the tools and instruments in order to help young people understand the business side of their creative projects. In some time, the Creative Enterprise Toolkit was created, and that was a toolkit which was developed specifically with creative people in mind who have some understanding of creative business, but are trying to improve and structure it. This toolkit consists of 4 elements, and it has a lot of visual content and tables and figures which allow you to structure what you already have or what you should have perhaps in your creative business project. In the business of the person who is reading this toolkit. When the toolkit was published, it was shared across the UK, and it was shared across from person to person. And then we understood that the content is relevant far beyond the constraints of the UK and can be used in many countries. Then Nesta has joined forces with the British Council, and they started to implement creative enterprise in different countries of the world.
So this methodology is based on the guidelines, and only after that Creative Enterprise Program was created. This manual can be received in online copy. You can simply download it in English or other language of the world, including Ukrainian. We translated it a few years ago, and at the end of the presentation there will be a link to British Council website where you can download it. And only the participants of Creative Enterprise will get the printed version of it. At the same way, now you can see Nesta website. If you're interested in their work, you can go to their website. There are a lot of recommendations, research, and interesting publications. You are welcome.
Ми почали працювати з Нестою, і
So we started working with Nesta.
Спочатку вона відбувалася в Латинській Америці,
program started in Latin America, after that in Africa, and in some time it was spread to other countries as well. Now the format Creative Enterprise is going on in 25 countries of the world. Ukraine included.
Ну і якщо ми вже говоримо про Україну, то у нас
Speaking about Ukraine,
програма, ми її назвали одразу Creative
our
Enterprise Ukraine.
Creative Enterprise program is called Creative Enterprise Ukraine. I'm going to use this name along the presentation. It was created in 2018, so we will be celebrating our 5th anniversary quite soon. And we have 31 training on Nesta methodology in Creative Enterprise Ukraine. 650 people already attended it. On the map you can see number of trainings and the cities where they were going on. Surely that the most number of trainings was in Kyiv, but in the same way a big number of trainings was in Lviv, in Odessa and Kharkiv, some number as well, and also we even worked in some settlements. Also it should be noted that here on the map you can see the cities which were visited by Creative Enterprise Ukraine. But people who joined us, they are from all corners of Ukraine. We just had our training in some location, but people could come from other cities as well. And also you can see the logos of our current partners. I would like to name them all, to thank them all. First of all, it is Insha Svita as education, our partners. We work with them at the moment on all the activities of the program. I'll tell you the details later. Also, we have local partners, Mistecki Arsenal in Kyiv, Agency of Economic Development, Platform of Ukrainian Brands Budua, Impact Hub in Odessa, and Marketing and Communication School Bagage in Kharkiv. Our local partners are organizations supporting Creative Enterprise Ukraine in other cities. And surely it was very important for us when we joined House of Europe. And since this moment we can expand our profile and activities of Creative Enterprise, and I'm very grateful to my partners for that. Also since 2015 we worked with a big list of organizations. Here you can see their logos. I'm sure that our audience know most of these organizations. All of us are building creative industries, and it's very joyful that we joined our efforts at some time. Our partners were involved at different roles. For instance, Ukrainian Fashion Week or some other events. We had sectoral trainings for the fashion. With Projector we had trainings for representatives of design sector. We have a lot of common memories, good memories, and also I should mention PricewaterhouseCoopers, because they were our partners from the very beginning, since 2015. And thanks to them we could have additional day of Creative Enterprise Ukraine that was completely focused on Ukrainian business. And employees of PwC came to us and gave consultations and lectures to our participants. Sometimes I call it training of Creative Enterprise, sometimes I call it program. And this slide will help you to understand this program better. It consists of three elements, and training is the most important part of it, but it's also important to have possibilities for the participants of Creative Enterprise, the ones that have after the training, and the community of Creative Enterprise. It is a relatively new but useful element we work with.
невід'ємною частиною Creative Enterprise
And one more
Ukraine є
integral
команда
part of Creative
фасилітаторів.
Ukraine is a
Це
team of facilitators,
люди, які пройшли
people
акредитацію в агентстві
people who were
Nesta, і
accredited
саме
in
вони
Nesta
мають
agency,
право
and
проводити
these people have a
тренінги
right
на основі Creative Enterprise
to
в
hold
Україні.
trainings of
Всі
Creative
вони
Enterprise in
представляють
Ukraine. All of
креативні
them
індустрії, всі вони
represent creative
мають
industries. All of them
бекграунд в бізнесі.
have business
І також
background,
вони мають спеціалізацію
and also
фасилітаторів,
they
тренерів
are
і розуміння того, як працювати з
they
групами.
know
І я думаю, що в цей
also
момент
they
буде
are
дуже доречним
facilitators and
перейти
they
до
know
відео,
how to
де
work
ви
with teams.
побачите
And
якраз
now it's time for our
всіх
video
чотирьох фасилітаторів,
where
і
you
вони
can see
допоможуть
all our
мені
four
розказувати про
facilitators and
Creative
they will
Enterprise
help
Ukraine далі.
me
Будь
to
ласка,
tell you about
ввімкніть відео номер
Creative
1.
Enterprise. Then video number
Чи
one,
можна
please.
навчитися підприємництву? Ні. Тому що я вважаю, що підприємництво – це процес, коли ми навчаємося в процесі розвитку нашого бізнесу.
На програмі Creative Enterprise ви зможете переконатись, що підприємництво, креативне підприємництво – це справа вашого життя і це те, чим ви хочете займатися.
Програма Creative Enterprise допоможе вам не боятися слів менеджмент, маркетинг, комунікації, унікальна ціннісна пропозиція, фінанси.
На цьому курсі ви познайомитеся з майже 20 такими ж креативними підприємцями, як і ви. Ви не одні зі своїми болями, їх можна вирішити разом.
Це буде дуже-дуже цікавий шлях. І я впевнена, що такими, як зараз, після програми, ви вже не будете.
Дякую. І в кінці ви бачили
Thank you very
заклик
much.
«Реєструйся».
And at the very
Про
end,
це трошки згодом.
you could see the address
Як
register
саме
now.
можна реєструватися.
And later I will tell
Зараз
you
ви
about how you can
бачите,
register.
як ми працювали у часи
Now you
до
can see
пандемії.
how we
Це
worked
завжди
in
були
pre-COVID times.
формати офлайн навчання.
We had
Група
only
в
offline
середньому на
formats
тренінгу
of
складається з
trainings.
20-25 людей.
In average, we
І
had
особливість Creative Enterprise –
20-25
те, що всі учасники
people in every
належать до
training, and
креативних
also
індустрій.
all participants
При цьому
are
вони
the part of
представляють
creative
абсолютно різні
industries,
сектори. Це
but
може бути
they are
дизайн,
representative
це
of
може
different
бути медіа,
sectors. It could be
реклама,
design,
маркетинг,
media,
це може бути
advertisement,
музика,
marketing,
або фестивальний
music, or
менеджмент.
festival
І от
management.
саме в такій компанії однодумців, проте
And in
представників
this
різних
company of
секторів
like-minded
є шанс
people,
навчатись
representatives of
Creative Enterprise
different
впродовж
sectors, you have
4
a chance to learn
І
during 4
те,
days
що
at
змінилося,
Creative Enterprise
що
Ukraine
перший раз,
trainings.
якраз вчора, ми
What is
випустили
different now?
групу, яка навчалася
Just
абсолютно
yesterday,
в новому для нас
we
онлайн-форматі.
graduated the first group that was learning in online format. It was our pilot
Як Creative
project
Enterprise тепер може відбуватись не тільки в
because we
фізичному,
need to understand
але
how
й в
Creative Enterprise
онлайн-просторі.
can
Я думаю, що
move
зараз
into
дуже багато
online.
активностей відбувається в такому форматі.
At the moment, a lot
Але
of
от,
activities went
стосовно
online,
Creative Enterprise,
but regarding Creative
те, що
Enterprise,
зробили ми,
what we did,
всю методологію і всі основні блоки програми
all
ми переклали в
all
онлайн-формат,
methodology,
і
all
тепер
main blocks
навчання
of
в
the
онлайні,
program
воно триває
will
не 4
transform
дні,
to
як
online,
тривало
and
фізичне
now
навчання,
the
а
training
воно
is not 4
триває
days,
майже
but
2 тижні,
almost 2
і
weeks.
це щоденні блоки в
And
робочі
here
дні,
there are
де
daily
люди
blocks in
зустрічаються
working days
орієнтовно на
where
4
people
години в день. Доволі
people spend 4
складний
hours
процес,
together.
який вимагає
That is a complicated process. It requires a lot of efforts and concentration, but it's worth it. And yesterday, when we had a graduation day, we had a lot of warm gratitudes from our gratitudes, and no one left us during this time. And we were surprised because we thought that online learning is not that easy. So, if you want to join Creative Enterprise, here you can see the goals of your learning. After Nesta part, you can answer the following questions. Does my idea or my business have a potential? Why my client should be interested in my product? And how I can prepare my business to be successful? What should I do to achieve that? Also regarding the profile of our participants, you should be the representative of one of the creative sectors, and also we recommend Creative Enterprise Ukraine for the beginners, people on the first stage of business creation. If your creative business is a big business with a big team, you work for many years, your processes are already well structured, probably it's not for you. It's more for the newcomers. It is recommended up to 2 years of experience, but for sure there should be people with a very clear vision of their product. But so far they didn't launch it and it's on the stage of idea. Regarding methodology, what's going on our trainings? First of all, is active participation and interaction of all participants. We learn from each other. You come with your business, your idea, and besides facilitator working with you, the principle is that you learn from each other. During the training, you fill in the templates. They are the part of the manual, and these templates is the tool helping you to transfer all your ideas from the head to the papers and to understand the structure of your business. Also, we use real life examples. So, what about program outcomes? In 2018, we had a research survey of our graduates, and we asked them how useful the program was for them. You can find this survey on the British Council website. Now you can see just a few tables from it. For instance, we had 106 people who answered our questions on which stage your creative business was when you registered for the program, and you can see the breakdown. What I should comment on this one? Here, were you involved into the project you processed during your learning? And what about the implementation of your idea? Was it implemented? And we can see that not all the ideas were implemented, that not all the people who brought their project to Creative Enterprise carried on working on them. Why did it happen? And it's important for me to tell you about it, because one of the outcomes of Creative Enterprise is to convince you that probably your idea or project is not worth implementation because it doesn't have a lot of business potential. And we think that is success as well, because we can save your time and resources. You will get new knowledges, new skills, and you will understand this product won't be successful. And as a result, some participants decided to change their product completely or launch completely different business. And that is also part of our success. And about our graduates, we have 648 people at the moment, and I would like to show some of them. Alina Sherbina, for instance, she is from Budue platform. Alina was our participant, and then together with her partner Katarina Droshevska, they received strategic session as a part of Creative Enterprise, and they became our local partners. We had a lot of overlapping activities, and she was our graduate 2017 from Dnipro. In the same way, I would like to tell you about Igor Klushnik, who is from Informative Arts. That is a school of performance, and Igor was one of our first graduates in 2015. And Tetiana Ivanicka, she has ceramics brand Ticha Forma. Probably you've seen it already because Tanya was announced in this blog. We should present this blog together. And Tetiana made a small interview for you, but unfortunately the quality was very poor. So Tatiana has a studio of ceramics in Kyiv. It's very cool, and at the same way she was upgraded in 2015. About our recent graduates, to understand how do you fit this company, you can see catalog in our website. There are just some graduates in this catalog, but I think that is very useful for potential participants. Also, if you are interested in Ukrainian brands, in small businesses, you can find them at our website. And do you remember when I told you about Alina Sherbina, that she received mentorship? That is the second stage of creative enterprise. Individual support of some graduates. And here we propose 4 types of opportunities for graduates after they complete their learning. Graduates, depending on their request, can get different support formats: mentorship, strategic sessions, participation in project groups, where graduates during a year interact with each other. There are groups of 4 people and brief consultation. This is just processing of the most actual issues with an expert. And also it should be noted that we have a whole community of graduates already. All our graduates get access to creative enterprise community where they can speak to each other because they have a lot of things in common. Sometimes we have online meetups, and I hope after lockdown we will have a possibility to have offline events. Also, time to time we publish stories about our graduates and we have a digest about them. That's also one of the advantages of creative enterprise, that our graduates get access to 2 cool networks: Smaller Network Creative Enterprise Ukraine platform, and automatically our graduates join House of Europe graduates community. It's more large scale, and they can collaborate with the graduates of other programs of House of Europe.
On the screen you can see now 2 links where you can learn more about creative enterprise. The first is the link to House of Europe and specifically Creative Enterprise Ukraine, and also the second link to the website of British Council, where you can see all the publications such as reference book and catalog of graduates and the surveys. All of that is available for download on the British Council webpage. And then I would like to show you one more video. If we will launch the video number 2, that is to summarize everything that I've told you over the last 30 minutes, but in video format. So if possible, video number 2.
Creative Enterprise – це програма для творчих людей, які хочуть започаткувати бізнес. Британська рада впроваджує її в Україні з 2015 року. Автором методики є британська агенція з інновацій Неста. Протягом 3 днів ми говоримо про людину, про її ідею, про її бізнес, про те, що її мотивує. Також ми говоримо про клієнтів. Хто ці люди, яку цінність і вигоду вони отримують завдяки тому, що цей продукт чи послуга існує на ринку. Учасники найголовніше, що отримують, це план дій. Як працювати із слабкими сторонами своїми, як використовувати сильні і як будувати партнерства для того, щоб прийти до кінцевого результату.
На Creative Enterprise це було дуже структуровано і практично. За 3 дні я змогла розробити і маркетинговий план, і бізнес-план. У мене ще досі є ці шаблони, які я накидувала, і ми їх час від часу переглядаємо, якось вдосконалюємо.
Дуже цінно було побачити цю прекрасну спільноту, яка світиться. Ми вивчали бізнес-моделі, як вони працюють, яким чином можна їх розвивати і масштабувати. Ну і це комплексно один одному допомагаючи було дуже цінно.
Не було такого, що ми вийшли і ну все, ми мільйонери, що тепер у нас буде добре. Це, напевно, як ти прочитав книжку, ти не знаєш, коли вона тобі може знадобитися. Я просто в якийсь момент зроблю щось, а потім такі, ти знаєш, це, напевне, там ми оце почули.
Найкращі проекти нагороджуються різними інструментами підтримки. Це навчання, це консультації по стратегії, це менторська підтримка і грошовий приз як заохочення в розвитку надалі. Україна – це країна із найбільшою мережею випускників. У нас вже дуже велика спільнота, яка сформувалася завдяки Британській раді і місцевим партнерам в різних містах.
Ну і наостанок
And then finally,
для тих,
for those who got interested in Creative Enterprise Ukraine and you're thinking about participating, let me also tell you that the next enrollment will be after the new year, probably, and it's going to be online format, considering the circumstances. But also, we also hope that in 2021, we'll finally do away with the pandemic somehow and to go back offline, so that you can get applications for creative online. Please follow our page and House of Europe page and British Council page, and also you can use the links on the screen, and it's always the most up-to-date information about this program. And I hope that in one of the next enrollments I will see someone from the viewers of today's broadcast. Thank you and see you.
Через пандемію та закриття кордонів House of Europe
Because of the pandemic
замінив
and
навчальні
the border
подорожі
shutdowns,
новими форматами
House of
програм.
Europe has replaced
Замість
the
поїздок
training trips with the new formats.
тренінги
Instead
та
of
обмін з колегами
trips,
з
now
ЄС,
we talk about trainings
завдяки
and
Digital Labs.
exchanges
Digital Labs
through Digital
це
Labs. Digital
програма
Labs is a
онлайн
program
лабораторії,
for online, it's an online
яких
lab
учасників впродовж
where the participants
4-6
within
онлайн
3,
сесій
4
разом
to
з
6
експертами
hours
з ЄС
online
та
sessions together with
Великої
EU
Британії
experts
вивчають та
and
обговорюють
Great British
питання,
experts
які їх
discuss
турбують та є актуальними
questions
для
that are
сектору.
interesting for them.
Програмою керує British Council
The
Ukraine
program
під
is managed by
парасолькою
British
House
Council
of
of
Europe.
Ukraine under the umbrella of House of
Адаптуватися
Europe. In order to adapt
до нової реальності,
to
як це зробити?
the new normal,
Залишити
how to
хаб
do that?
відкритим для
Do we
відвідувачів?
do we leave the hub open
убезпечити
for
гостей?
all the visitors?
Як
How do you
працювати в
provide
онлайн
for the guests?
форматі?
How do you
Як
work with
конкурувати з
online
іншими
format? How do you compete with other spaces in online?
Головне, як сформувати унікальну
How do
пропозицію
you
та монетизувати її?
design a unique
Як
proposal
не
and how do you
втратити зв'язок
monetize
зі
it? How not to lose
Про це
connection
та
with the
про
community?
формати
Well,
сесій,
about all of
портфоліо
that,
тренерів,
plus
бонуси,
portfolios
які
of
учасники
trainers,
отримують
bonuses
від
that
програм, розкаже
participants
Анастасія
get.
Щербін.
Anastasia Sherbin will tell us all
Вона
about it.
менеджерка програм
She's a manager of creative economy programs and also social entrepreneurship at the British Council, and she's also manager of Digital Labs. Nadia Koval, co-founder and CEO of Psi Prostor, NGO, who helped us start this journey, and she'll tell us what's the push that this exchange has given to her. Anastasia? Okay, thank you, Eugene. You presented me so well that it doesn't leave me anything to add, but I will still try and surprise you with something. And I would start with how it all began. It all began with training visits, study visits. Let me also tell you a bit about these study visits. Why creative hubs? Creative hubs are one of the key elements of the ecosystem of creative industries, and that's why in our program, House in Europe, we work to build capacity of creative hubs in Ukraine. And so in the digital lab, we help establish new partnerships between creative hubs in Ukraine, in EU and Great Britain. And so within 3 years, from 2020 to 2023, we were hoping to create several study visits for Creative Hub to different countries. But since the pandemic changed our plans, we, as Eugene said, we created a completely new program for Creative Hub managers, which basically is very relevant and gained a lot of interest. And we received a lot of positive feedback from the first online digital lab, which just finished this year. So let me start my presentation by saying what a Creative Hub is. And so we understand Creative Hub is a space, offline or online, that unites creative people. Creative hubs can be different size and focus, but if it's a hub, it helps institutions to coexist, co-work. It creates a creative economy and builds professional community and helps to strengthen it. Why do we organize digital lab and study visits? We organize them for the purpose of shaping a clear understanding of what Creative Hub is, what are its functions for Creative Hub representatives in Ukraine, and also to help through European examples and British examples to help build the long-term strategic approach to management for Creative Hub managers in Ukraine, to help build local and international partnerships, and also help build partnerships between different initiatives and players who support creative industries development in Ukraine, and also to strengthen sectoral and geographic communities and hubs in Ukraine. Who is our target audience for these study trips? First of all, that's just existing managers of creative hubs, managers who are also decision makers, also governmental officials who also help develop creative industries in Ukraine, people from universities and academia who have their creative hubs as part of their curriculum or training program, and it can also be investors who want or looking to invest into Creative Hub at a very early stage. And we got lucky, and this year we successfully run a pilot study visit to Great Britain. We were hosted by Manchester and Liverpool in February 2020, and 8 managers from Creative Hubs in Ukraine, from Lviv, Mariupol, Odessa, Kiev, Dnipro. So they had an opportunity to see firsthand how Liverpool and Manchester creative hubs work, to get inspired by their work, and upon arrival back home, to try and do something similar in Ukraine. And at the end of my presentation, you'll be able to hear about experience of one of the participants of the study visit to Liverpool. Nadia Koval will tell us also what changes have happened with the hub after she returned back from that trip. But this pilot study visit gave us an opportunity to see and understand that we have to determine our focus for the next and subsequent study tours. And that will make them more useful for the participants who go there. And after the return, we decided to focus on the following study visits this year, and even found the organizers. So as soon as we will again be able to travel, and I hope that will somehow happen in 2021, we plan to have 3 study tours for makerspaces. It's going to be a trip to Paris, France, for those creative hubs who work as social business, and that journey will be into Porto and Lisbon in Portugal, and also for the hubs who are cultural objects. That's going to be the trip to Estonia. So let's keep our fingers crossed for these journeys to become possible again, and so that next year we'll do that. But meanwhile, the journeys are not possible, and as I said, we created a new online format to train the Creative Hub managers. So the training is over. It was successfully completed in October, November. So I'm talking about 4 sessions for Creative Hub managers from Ukraine. For them, we outlined 4 main topics that are the most relevant to all Creative Hub managers, which is hybrid solutions that we can now offer to hubs, how to reassess physical space for Creative Hub now that everything seems to be going online, how to put their creative space online, and what unique content and monetization methods we can offer for the hub to become successful and be able to make money again. And we also talked about the community as something that keeps the hub together, and how can we strengthen that and not to lose the community in hybrid formats. So these are some interesting illustrations from our sessions. And let's take hybrid solution as a topic for creative spaces, which our expert from Scotland was present at, Julian Eason, and we talked a lot about what kind of solutions it can be. And Ukrainian managers have heard a lot of new stuff for themselves and useful things that they can try and apply after they graduate this program in Ukraine. And in one of the sessions, we also were talking about how to move your activities from offline to online, how to monetize those activities. And our speaker from Portugal, Tanya Santos, suggested using her own example and told us how they dealt with the crisis, how they went online, what kind of monetization methods they used. And so that club was a program of exclusive support for co-workers, Instagram gallery that they did. And they created a specific Patreon account so that each of their residents could support and make some monetary deposition into their creative space. So it's a lot of useful, great things that Tanya told us. And of course, all those things are possibly, maybe not so easily, but possibly to implement all that here in Ukraine. So that's why the speakers got very useful information for our participants. As I said, we finalized our session just this year, this week. And now we have in our community graduates for creative manager programs, 25 new members. Have arrived. We had a great group, creative hub managers from all the regions of Ukraine, starting from Uzhhorod, Ivano-Frankivsk, Lviv, Kyiv, Kharkiv and Odessa, and it was very pleasant to see that our group got so much closer together, and they received valuable experience for their work. They received better understanding of a general picture how the creative sector, creative spaces work in Ukraine, and they plan to implement all those skills that they got during the training in their work. Even more so, we wanted very much that the goal to create a digital lab was not only just to give our participants the opportunity to hear experience from European colleagues, but also the most important objective is to help them see and get connected with each other as much as they could, using these 4 or 5 sessions to get friends together, and understand that they share the same problems here in Ukraine as well, and now they can support each other. They can help each other, maybe create some kind of community together, and even participate in decision-making that potentially can impact the whole sector development in Ukraine. Those are our global ambitious plans. Whether we will be doing the next digital lab, we think yes, we will definitely be doing so, but most probably it's going to happen next year. When, as soon as we know, we will post that on our House of Europe page in the Opportunities tab and the British Council tab. And so follow our news from the start of the new year. If you have any questions about any projects of creative economy that we implement, as Eugene said, training trips, online labs for creative hub managers, social entrepreneurs, and also I work on Creative Enterprise Ukraine program. So you can post, and you can write on the email or visit our website, the British Council, and go ahead and read about our projects that we implement as part of the creative economy. And now you're all invited to look at the video by Nadia Koval from Ksi-Prostor Dnipro, where she will tell us more about their beautiful co-working space or creative space that they're creating right now in the center of a modern urban culture. And in that same video, she will share her impressions from the study visits to Liverpool. Unfortunately, the interpreters cannot hear anything from the video, so the interpreting is unavailable.
Ми працюємо вже 6 років і за цей час організували більше 400 івентів. А зараз ми переїхали до нового приміщення.
Чекай, не закривай. Ми маємо тобі дещо показати. Йдемо з нами.
Зараз ми знаходимося у Центрі сучасної культури Дніпра.
Тут ми будемо організовувати незабутні події.
На вас чекають нові сезони клубу «Смак-кіно», співпраця з міжнародними фестивалями кіно та анімації, артістоки, лекції, перформанси, вечірки. Тут буде знаходитися величезний екран та аудіосистема.
А тут ми будемо збиратись на Ті&Ро, малювати з натури та пити чай. Також простір буде трансформуватись, тож ми зможемо організовувати більш затишні філософські зустрічі, мітапи та читальні групи.
Ще простір буде використовуватися як виставковий. Наша мета – популяризувати молоде сучасне українське мистецтво. Ми хочемо відкрити нові імена у Дніпрі та Україні.
Це буде живопис, фотографія, скульптура, інсталяція, аудіовізуальне мистецтво та крос-секторальні практики. Ми вже маємо план виставкових проєктів, але відкриті до нових ідей для реалізації.
А зараз перейдемо до нашої майстерні лабораторії. Тут ми будемо експериментувати і створювати. Ми обладнаємо майстерню різними інструментами для роботи з матеріалами та техніками.
Це буде, наприклад, базова деревообробка, робота з металом, пластиком, електроніка. Ви зможете відвідувати різні воркшопи або вчити один одного. Це буде так званий художній коворкінг або мейкерспейс.
А ще у просторі ми будемо записувати цікавий онлайн-контент для вас.
То як вам такий план? Ми хочемо робити Ксі-простір краще для вас. Допоможіть нам втілити задумане в життя. Підтримайте нас на спільну кошті.
Всім привіт! Це знов Надія. Наша організація пройшла непростий шлях від DIY-простору у маленькій квартирі, старій майстерні у художньому комбінаті. Та минулого року, за запрошенням громадської організації «Культура медіальна», ми стали частиною визначної інституції для нашого міста – Центру сучасної культури Дніпра. 2020 рік був непростий для нас всіх, але ми нарешті офіційно відкрили громадську організацію та почали активно розробляти грантові проєкти. Щойно я показала відео нашої краудфандингової кампанії, яку ми нещодавно успішно завершили. Ми зібрали 105% від необхідної суми у 75 тисяч гривень у партнерстві з фондом відродження, які подвоїть цю суму. За допомогою нашого ком'юніті ми зможемо відкрити у Дніпрі перший мейкерспейс. У 2021-му організувати 5 виставок молодих художників на тему свідомого споживання та екології, програму «Смак кіно» з лекціями по історії кіно, арт-істоки з європейськими та українськими митцями, покази сучасної анімації від фестивалю «Лінолеум», лекції з історії музики та багато іншого. Якщо чесно, ми самі не сподівалися, що це можливо. 150 людей, які в середньому задонатили по 500 гривень, репостили та писали слова підтримки – це було просто неймовірно. На початку року я взяла участь у навчальній подорожі для менеджерів культурних хабів від House of Europe. Ми відвідали культурні інституції у Ліверпулі та Манчестері. Я зустрічала дуже багато енергійних і талановитих людей, які об'єднуються, щоб вирішувати проблеми своїх спільнот та при цьому займаються улюбленою справою. Більш за все мене вразило, що люди об'єднуються навколо ідей. Для них важливіша ідея і філософія проєкту, аніж фінансова складова. Адже гроші знайдуться. Я переконалася, що ми рухаємося у правильному напрямку та маємо ще більше посилювати нашу спільноту, спілкуватися з людьми, для яких ми робимо Ксі-простір, та робити його разом. А ще за час карантину ми активно почали розвивати онлайн-програму за підтримки інфраструктурного гранту від House of Europe. Тож підписуйтесь на YouTube-канал Ксі-простір, де ви вже можете знайти відеоподкасти від «Смак кіно», зустрічі з художниками і активістами. Це таке собі представництво Ксі-простір онлайн. Дякую за увагу і до зустрічі!
Так, отже, ми подивилися
So,
презентацію
that was the video from Nadia Koval.
Я думаю, що вона дуже надихаюча.
I think it's very inspiring for all the managers of creative hubs who follow our events and want to participate in our study visits and the digital lab. Follow our news, as I said, on the page of British Council and House of Europe, and next year we absolutely will announce the new opportunities for managers of creative hubs. So that's it, and that was all from me, and see you all.
We like to say that House of Europe is about connecting people and opportunities. So what does that mean? We want to connect professionals in Ukraine with their colleagues in the European Union.
Мене звати Катерина Носко, і я співзасновниця видавництва East Publishing. Ми вже встигли взяти участь у 2 open call'ах, це грант на переклади, а також грант мобільності.
Hello, my name is Georg Stecker. We are the partner in Austria of this production. The running or the leading partner for this work is the ensemble, the company Nova Opera. And I have to be honest, myself, I'm learning. That's what this production is bringing to me, or the connection with the ensemble Nova Opera in the last 2 years. I'm learning about how much artistical excellency is on the way.
Мене звуть Гаврилюк Марія, я співзасновниця проекту Гуня Project. Ми розуміли, що в нас немає бізнес-освіти і що нам потрібна якісна оцінка професіоналів. Ну і, власне, за цим ми пішли в Creative Business Academy.
Мене звати Богдан Волинський. Ми знаходимося в ДАШ. Це дитяча архітектурна школа. Сама академія дає можливість побачити себе в глобальному контексті. Ти весь час спілкуєшся з різними людьми з різних куточків світу, у яких є досвід, і так значно легше уявляти свій шлях.
The House of Europe is mostly an EU-funded project. There is a network of cultural organizations from the EU that are active in Ukraine. It's called OINIC. Out of this OINIC network, 4 have formed a consortium that actually takes this grant from the European Union and implements it on their behalf. This consortium is made up of the Goethe Institute, which is the lead implementer, the British Council, the Institut Français, and the Czech Center. And those 4 organizations manage the implementation of House of Europe, but they also closely work together with the other EU national cultural institutes in Ukraine. The House of Europe is working with 6 sectors: culture and creative industries. That's the biggest part of the program. Second is education, media and journalism, social entrepreneurship, health. And we are working with youth and people that are working with youth. There are more than 20 program lines.
Я координую напрямок грантів для організацій. Наша основна грантова програма – це гранти міжнародної співпраці. Їх ціллю є підтримати ось цю міжнародну спільну діяльність в сфері культури між Україною і Європою. Україна є питомою частиною європейської культурної сцени, але доступ до цієї культурної сцени не є таким простим для українських організацій через фінансові та інші обмеження. Тому тут грантова допомога є критично важливою. З тих проєктів, які ми вже реалізували, ми бачимо, що обмін відбувається в обидва боки, є дуже продуктивним і є дуже велика надія на те, що далі вся культурна співпраця поглиблюватиметься і розширюватиметься.
Я координую програму грантів мобільності. Це гранти, які ми надаємо для подорожей індивідуальних представників 6 різних секторів для поїздок в країни Європейського Союзу. Це можливість реалізувати ваші ідеї. Ви складаєте план поїздки, ви маєте ідею, куди ви хочете поїхати, що ви хочете зробити. Тобто ми сприяємо постійному обміну знаннями. З однієї сторони це можливість для представників наших важливих секторів чомусь навчитися в Європейському Союзі. З іншої сторони, це також можливість про себе розказати.
Я координую напрямки навчальні подорожі в сфері культури та сфері освіти, міжнародні резиденції та гранти на переклад. Навчальні подорожі – це короткостроковий формат, він розрахований на тиждень. Наша команда готує повністю програму для наших учасників, вони беруть участь в фестивалях, форумах, майстер-класах. Міжнародні резиденції – це мистецька платформа для діалогу. Діалогу між кураторами, дослідниками, арт-менеджерами. Ця програма триває місяць і в них є більше часу для заглиблення в атмосферу, пошук нових партнерів. Всі програми, які я назвала, вони різні, але між собою в них є одна спільна мета – підтримка, створення, посилення діалогу між професіоналами з України та Європейського Союзу. Тобто не тільки отримання знань, але й нетворкінг, робота зі своїми колегами та подальша співпраця.
Проект «Первая выставка гаража 127» существует при поддержке Дома Европы, House of Europe и программы Creative Youth. Это наш первый грант, который мы получаем вместе с гаражом. Кроме того, это первый международный проект для гаража.
I'm Winnie Herbstein. I'm an artist. I came on as a mentor. I spoke about my reading of the work from my context and then encouraged the artists to speak about what their work meant coming from their context. A lot of the artists are making work that is political and really interesting work, and it was really exciting to see that. But as time went on and I began speaking with the people and carrying on my conversations with Anton and Anastasia, I began to understand more where these artists were coming from, and that was really important for me.
We also have several dedicated program lines that target the region specifically. So one we call the pop-up hubs, and here the idea really is that this House of Europe pops up in a different place, in an already existing house of a cultural organization or a creative hub somewhere in a regional center of Ukraine.
Це інформаційний координаційний стенд з невеликим коворкінгом, лаунж-зоною, книгами та періодикою, а також з інформацією, буклетами про House of Europe та інші програми Європейського Союзу. Завершується Pop-Up Hub House of Europe Festival, де регіональні креативні підприємці знайомляться зі своїми європейськими партнерами. Для обміну досвідом, думками та порадами ми активуємо нашу спільноту випускників, яка вже за рік діяльності House of Europe налічує більше 400 учасників, які репрезентують усі регіони України.
There is a second program line for those regions where there even is no such infrastructure. And here we are building our own infrastructure. We are building a mobile, transportable house, a mobile pavilion, by which we will be traveling through the periphery of the country and show up in places for a couple of weeks, providing a space for artists, for creative minds, for activists, for agents of change.
The House of Europe holds a special place within the European Union's support to Ukraine. Its budget exceeds 12 million euro for 4 years of activities. Its target groups are uniquely dynamic and among the most active ones. Artists, creative entrepreneurs, media and healthcare professionals, teachers, young people. Together with their colleagues and fellows all over the EU, in the House of Europe, they all exchange views, share their projects, debate and help build a future that is more inclusive, more resilient and more creative.
It's about going to the people, giving people a place where they can actually meet each other, where they can encounter and which they can inhabit with their ideas and with their fantasy.
У 2020 році Creative Accelerator реалізовувався у партнерстві між Українським культурним фондом, Британською радою та Офісом розвитку малого та середнього підприємництва при Міністерстві розвитку економіки, торгівлі та сільського господарства України. Більше деталей про що програму та про плани на майбутнє залюбки погодилася сьогодні нам розповісти Дарина Живоглядова, вона є заступницею керівниці відділу міжнародного співробітництва Українського культурного фонду і менеджеркою програми Creative Accelerator. Та разом з нею в цій панелі буде Анастасія Войтюк, вона є учасницею Creative Accelerator, ментористкою, культурною менеджеркою, фронтвумен гурту Троє Зілля, засновницею Львів Бандур Фест та співзасновницею Бандура Еп, що облетіла весь світ. Дарино, Анастасія, я запрошую вас до слова.
Дякую, Євгена.
Thank you very much, Євген.
Я всіх вітаю. Хочу розповісти про програму
I would like to tell you about Creative Accelerator program. It is a partners complex program that we do together with Ukrainian Cultural Fund and British Council and SMEDA Fund. Also, it is a part of institutional program Business Angels. I would like to show you
statistics
для того, щоб показати, чому в нас виникла саме ідея
to show
даної
why
програми,
we had the idea,
чому для
how
нас
we
було
had the idea
важливо
of this
саме
program,
створити
and why it
таку
was
програму
important
для
for us to
еламу, для
create
випускників
this
Українського
program for the
культурного фонду.
graduates of Ukrainian Culture Fund.
Я хочу показати певну статистику наданих грантів від Українського
Here you can
культурного
see the
фонду.
statistics of the grant
Дійсно,
provided by
і щодо
Ukrainian
коштів, які були
Cultural
надані
Fund.
фондом. Спочатку у 2018 році це було
In
близько 140
2018,
мільйонів гривень.
there were about
В
140
2019
million
році воно
hryvnia. In
збільшилося до 500 мільйонів
2019, there were already
І нарешті
500
в 2020
million
році
hryvnia, and in
ми маємо близько
2020 we have
908
about
мільйонів гривень, які за прогнозами надані на
908 million
2020
hryvnia
рік.
that were
Але що є
given
важливим, що я хочу
for
зазначити,
2020
що
according to
ось
the forecast. But what is
запитувані суми
important,
від Українського
here there are the requested
Тобто це кількість
amounts
грошей,
from
які,
Ukrainian Cultural Fund. So that is
на
the
суми
amount
яких
of
планують
money
реалізувати проект в сфері культурних креативних
they
індустрій
have plans to be
представники
implemented
України
for creative
за 3
and
роки.
cultural
І знову ж таки,
industries.
ми
I
бачимо,
mean,
що ця
representative
сума
of
збільшується,
Ukraine
починаючи з
for the next
2018
3
року, з
years, and we can
2020.
see how
В
this
2020
amount was
це
increasing
сума
year
3
to
мільярди
year,
976 мільйонів гривень.
and we
Тобто, що
expect
ми
more
бачимо?
than 3
Бачимо
billion in the
величезний
next
запит,
year.
запит на
We can see
фінансування
huge
проєктів в
requests
сфері
for the
культурних креативних
funding
індустрій.
of cultural and
Але
creative
зрозуміло, що
industries.
Український культурний фонд
But it's clear
надає
that
гранти в сфері
Ukrainian Cultural
культурно-креативних
Fund
індустрій.
provides
Це
grants
державна установа, яка створена з метою сприяння розвитку
because it
національної
is a
культури
state
мистецтва в
institution
Україні
that was
і
created
забезпечує сприятливі
to
умови для
support
розвитку
the development of
і широкого
creative
доступу
cultural
громадян до
industries
національного
and
культурного надбання.
wider access of the
Інтеграцію української
population
культури в
to
світовий
our
культурний
creative
простір.
and culture
І для Українського
and
культурного
culture
фонду
of
є дуже
Ukraine
важливим
and
не
integration
лише
of Ukrainian
безпосередньо
culture to
фінансування
the
проєктів
world
на ті
context.
суми,
That's why
які
it's important
виділені
not just to
державою,
find project
але й підтримка
within
сталості
this amount,
проєктів
but
та
also to support
знаходження
the
партнерів
sustainability of the project
після
and looking for the partners
отримання гранту від Української культурного
after
фонду.
this grant was received from Ukrainian Cultural Foundation. And our partners, I mean British Council Ukraine, had the same goal as well as SMEDA office. That's why in 2019 we started this program at the end of the last year
І вона була спрямована на розвиток
for those who received grants this year, and it was focused on the sustainability of the project by learning, by creation of new business model, and by establishment of the partnership in culture and creative industries. There were a few stages. First one was training according to the methodology of Creative Enterprise Program that was developed by British Council together with British Agency of Innovations NESTA. The next one was mentorship support and advisory body at the Ministry of Economics and Agro of Ukraine. And the last stage was the presentation of the project during pitching and professional networking. Also, I would like to highlight some insights from our program. The main request to business accelerators were consultations on finance management, marketing, promotion, modeling, and also it was a need for collaboration, creation of joint project with business representatives. And it was very important for the participants of our program, the collaborations with other participants of accelerators, and as a result, the creation of new international projects. So regarding Creative Accelerator 2020, the program will be launched in January 2021. It will be focused on the grant receivers of 2020 who are going to implement the project that we implemented in 2020 outside the program. Here you can see QR code with access to the website of Ukrainian Culture Foundation, and in January there will be guidelines how to apply for this program, how to fill in the questionnaires, what are the evaluation criteria. And here I would like to give the floor to Anastasia, because Anastasia is a graduate of our program. And I would like to ask her to present your project and to ask her in what way our program influenced to her few business project and what is implemented and implementing at the moment. Anastasia, the floor is yours. Darina, thank you very much for invitation and for your program, because it impacted a lot, and I will tell you how. Let me share my presentation. Regarding my project. So, I'm Anastasia Shaboityuk. I'm a bandura player, but during lockdown I work more as cultural management, and also for 8 years I'm managing the organization called Stizhina, and we are dealing with culture, creation and inclusion issues, and we cooperate with Ukrainian Cultural Foundation for 3 years already. Regarding my project, they were connected to contemporary bandura, to Ukrainian Cultural Foundation, and to Creative Accelerator program. Today, I'm here as a graduate of this program, and the history of our cooperation with Ukrainian Cultural Foundation and our partners is the following. The first product that you can see, Bandura Fest, it was kind of a pilot. It was a project that we first invented a long time before foundation. It was supported by Lviv Department of the Ministry of Culture, but in some time it was implemented thanks to the Ukrainian Cultural Foundation. It was the first project that we received, that we implemented successfully, and you know, the funding of Ukrainian Cultural Foundation allowed us to expand the geography of participants and the number of events that we had. We had 1 week-long festival. This year as well we were selected, but unfortunately we decided not to make this project. We selected other projects that could be transferred into online format. I will tell you about them now. So, regarding the project Troezilya, it is a music band. It is a kind of folk fusion band. There is bandura, drums, and piano, and that's the project I applied with to Creative Accelerator, because last year we implemented a huge project. It was a concert program involving musicians and musical instruments of different people of the world. There was some Georgian, Syrian, and some other musical instruments. And I was invited to the training, and it was the last offline event that happened that year. And straightly after it, lockdown, we had lockdown, and there was a few days program. Vladimir Vorobey was leading it, and there I was developing the model of Troezilya, and after that I had mentorship support for further processing, and it allowed me to understand what to do with the band, what not to do. What is the state of the band at the moment, what is the possibilities for development. Surely that after lockdown music projects that were focused on tours and performance went online, and Troezilya at the moment is also online. At the moment is a kind of project on pause, because its active part, the clients with whom we cooperated actively before, are waiting for the end of lockdown
в співпраці. Тому фактично ви і моя команда, і я змістили трошки свою увагу
carry on our cooperation. That's why we focused on other two projects. You can see them on the screen. That is Bandura.
Це два проекти, про які зараз я хочу трошки більше розповісти.
This is a project called Bandura and Music Up. Regarding Music Up, that is a purely lockdown project. It wasn't planned so large-scaled as it happened to be. In general, we planned to have training on management and marketing in April. And as of January, we applied to Ukrainian Cultural Foundation to develop online materials for the musicians, Bandura players, contemporary Bandura players. And during lockdown, we found out that we won, but the funding wasn't clear. So, waiting for the confirmation, we initiated online school, and we had 3 courses. It was 3 2-week courses, and on the first course, there were contemporary Bandura players from all Ukraine, Italy, and other countries. On the second course, there were musicians from Ukraine, but not just Bandura players. You know, it was very interesting because our target audience was Bandura players, but we had so many requests from other players that we decided to do it. And the third one was for the different musicians from Lviv. And after that, I applied with this project to opportunities for graduates. And I got few months mentorship support from Irina. We work with her together, developing business model of musical management and marketing school, Music Up. And in parallel way, we also had project with Ukrainian Cultural Foundation. Also, we had a project called Do You Speak Music? It is a learning course in English about music management and marketing. Some we had other topics as well. So we started from marketing and we went to the monetization of music online. We should have it in December, and that's a real school, you know, and this business model is not bad. It's a kind of new activities for us, because in Ukraine there is not a lot of music management, so it is a wonderful result. And probably the last project, very important for me, Bandura Up. It's also connected to Ukrainian Cultural Foundation. You can see these 24 millions on the screen. There are unique views of online page. It was an initiative of Mikhaila Goloborodko, the creation of this online page, and after we became successful, these 24 millions came to us. And here you can see also 73 views of this website. And after that, surely we applied to Ukrainian Cultural Foundation with these results. It is a kind of open mobile app. You can play in it. Of course, it's better to go to this online page, to have a look, to download it from Apple Store. In Ukraine, it takes 24th place. It is downloaded and it is downloaded by people from India, Brazil, other countries. And I was pitching this project myself in Kyiv recently, and we received a lot of wonderful recommendations how to develop a project team, how we can monetize these views. We didn't monetize them at all at the beginning, how to analyze these people, and a lot of Ukrainians gave us consultations and became members of our team. We even heard some such quotations that we could test some new instrument in this mobile app. That's it. I had half a minute more, and I would like to play you real Bandura. And I hope all these projects we are doing will push forward all the Bandura players.
Дуже дякую.
Thank you very much.
Отже, продовжуємо наш марафон можливостей.
Let's carry on our marathon of opportunities. I'm Olga. I'm the head of the Hub of Regional Programs and Community of Graduates of House of Europe. And our next opportunity is from Export Promoting Office. And there are few opportunities because when I invited them, I hoped that they will tell just about one opportunity, but they have a lot of opportunity for creative entrepreneurs. I would like to introduce our speakers. Tatiana Miskova, who is the director of the office, Andriy Burzi, representative of creative business that took part in the programs, and he will tell more about his experience. And his business is called Woodmood. Tatiana, the floor is yours. Good day. Good day. I'm very glad to be here at the fourth online forum Creative Ukraine. And today we will discuss the promotion of Ukrainian business abroad, about internationalization of business. I'm dealing with international projects for 5 years already, and today I would like to share with you that 2 years ago, in 2018, we arranged the first national stand in the first foreign exhibition in China, in Beijing, in Shanghai, and 90% of this stand were provided thanks to creative industries. First of all, creative industries is one of the top industries identified by expert strategy as sectors in focus. And if you look at different international ratings, We take 28th place in world design, 45 line in global innovation for business out of 130 countries. We can be proud by these indicators already, and they should make us to believe into ourselves, to believe into potential of our creative industries, and really we should learn how to develop our sales skills to present our creative industries, to present them abroad.
Creative industries in Ukraine produce 1.3 billion worth of export, which creates additional value for more than 850,000 enterprises. More than 300,000 people are employed in that creative industry. So those are micro entrepreneurs. 3.4% of value added is created by creative industries. What do we do in the export promotion office? We train companies how to systemically build your export activity in the company, how to move from situational spot sales to systemic sales. Especially now in the pandemic, while we're looking for new partners, the process whole is paralyzed. The companies who introduced sustainable approaches to exports, who have contract for 2 or 3 years, they provide income for them. There are 4 main directions where we work. First is education for exporters, analytics and study of international markets, export consulting, and finding partners. Also, we have to note that 85% of our customers are middle and SMEs, small and medium enterprises, and they need our services specifically and the competences that we develop and that we provide. So now I want to quickly tell you each of these components and tell you more detail about each of them. First is education for exporters. We have both sectoral events and cross-sectoral events. You see QR codes on the screen. You can use them to see the parts of the website. Maybe you find some interesting trainings and information. And you also support, by doing so, these expertise, and they train the trainers who train consultants in international exports. And this is the course where we have people from 10 regions of Ukraine. We provide all of our services online. They're all free for exporters. They're either subsidized by the state because we're a state institution, or they're subsidized by donor organizations and technical assistance. So I encourage you all to use the open possibilities and don't waste time if you have it, and increase your competencies. What we did for creative industries, we have a course, the Creative Export Ukraine. Thanks to this course, we taught creative industries to sell for exports. We trained them positioning on international markets. We taught them marketing, branding, etc. So this course basically was for 2 seasons, and during that course we trained more than 1,000 exporters. We had 2 international study tours to Estonia, and we engaged people not only from Ukraine but from other regions, and they very proactively participated in those seminars. For 8 months each course lasted, and based on the results of this course, in 2019, creative industries people had study tours where they had an opportunity to attend fashion shows, to showcase their products by creating a stand and using all those skills that they attained during the 8 months of training. Also, they participated in fashion show. You see here real photos, micro businesses, those who make things that really can be sold and bought abroad. So 2020. And here I would like to dwell a little bit on some examples, because examples are usually more alive and better than statistical data. This is Budua. There is a company where ladies just went to Estonia, Tallinn. During the study tour, they agreed. So they brought back 2 orders from Estonia to Ukraine. So it works. In 2020 also we had some study tours, and companies had an opportunity to participate in conferences, hold B2B meetings, showcase their brands to potential buyers, etc. So you see here some examples how they positioned themselves, how they decorated their stands and their goods that they've sold. And I'm very happy that after me, there will be one of the participants of the companies that used this opportunity. In 2020, they went to Estonia, and they also had a order from Estonia. And today, they will tell us about this experience. They will share how they liked it or they did not like it, what conclusions they drew, and what they've advised to entrepreneurs like them, what to do to make these goods successfully sold abroad. And also, by completing this block on education, I want to say that on our website, there's a free competence development center. What it is, it's a part of all the information that we've collected over the whole time of office from 2016, where you can find videos, video trainings, all kinds of materials, reference materials, how to sell a particular type of goods to EU or Canada, etc. So I would very much encourage you, if you have time, and drop by, pay a visit, see those courses, and also if you have the employees in the company who deal with foreign exports and export promotion. So for them, it's also a free opportunity to increase their competency and skills. Next chapter is expert consulting. What is expert consulting? We start with the testing of how ready the company is for exports and the idea. And then we go step by step with each company. We send companies for training if they need trainings. We also help companies to make analytics, to select the market they will focus, and of course, step by step help the companies to build a strategy of entering a particular market, to build plans, to analyze markets, to analyze competition, and then more purposefully build a roadmap where you want to move. So testing the readiness for export. It's also free, accessible on the website. You can drop a visit, epo.ua, and register in a personal account. And even by answering these questions, you will realize what's your strong point, what are your weak points, and it will give you some structure. How to work properly to build experts in your company and promote experts. We also produce guidelines for companies so that instead of fish, we're selling them the fishing rod. How to publish a commercial proposal. And we also consult companies how to file, how to be participants of international tenders. Ukraine is party to Free Trade Association from 2016. We have consultants in our office who help companies to file a request to these tenders. We've assembled some materials about these kind of tenders, 142 tenders in EU countries. You see some examples here. If you're interested in something, please use the QR codes or talk to our experts here. You see that there are requests on graphic design or architectural design or exhibition, equipment design, etc. There are proposals from different countries, the neighboring countries like Lithuania, Romania, France, Germany, and so on. Now, next part that I want to tell you is market research. It's important to understand what market you focus on in order to streamline your resource in a proper direction so that it produces great results. In our office, we do both sectoral research and studies and by country. We also do these guides for you as a company, how you do the primary analysis. Because there's a lot of stuff on the internet, free, great analytical resources. You can use them in order to do some preliminary analysis and to understand which way you are moving. And we also monitor the world trends and international trade, specifically because of the COVID situation. We all understand. And one of the biggest trends that we feel is healthy lifestyle. It's about foods and sports and the way of life and lifestyle. So these kinds of proposals are very useful. And also working remote. We talk about office furniture that people purchase for their homes and cozy home clothing and IT services that help companies to automate their work processes, etc., and so on and so forth. And another important thing is that we have help desks on our website for EU exporters, and we also consult entrepreneurs and help them get better understanding of tariffs, tariff regulations, and so consultancy like that we provide. The next tab is mostly sought for searching for partners. So if you look at the whole cycle, how the company goes from the interest in exports to exports, first they're ready, they want that, then they get educated, they analyze the markets, then they get consultancy and build their market strategy, and then they go, they begin to look for partners. But in real life, people don't think about education or research. They start from finding partners. And when you try and find partners, they attend meetings and exhibitions, but only then they get to understand that there's some additional consultancy and education and knowledge. And so looking for partners, unfortunately, all of the offline events this year, they were either canceled or postponed for the subsequent years or indefinitely. So the industry is reorienting. It goes online. And I will tell you about two platforms, or even more than two, they serve creative industries. The first platform I want to tell you is Enterprise Europe Network. We are part of the consortium, and it's so 56,000 companies, 66 countries, and you will help companies build their own profile. So please go to our representatives. We'll help you build a profile of the company in the network so that potential buyers could see you. Plus, we have the reference materials on a specific topic. So we communicate that openly on our Facebook page. So track that, monitor that, and please file a request if you need And there are other online events in the network. Trade missions, B2B matching events and conferences, exhibitions, and so on and so forth. So for instance, in 2020, there have been 8 such events for creative industries, and we have very active companies who actively were registering and participated in these kinds of events. So I give you some proposals here for creative industries to use. Browse them. You can see proposals starting from souvenirs and some services, toys, accessories, etc. So use these opportunities, try and apply, create your profile, and start selling abroad. Also, another platform, which is outsourcing platform, what does it mean? It means on one hand that in the English version of the site, there's a catalog in English. We have contacts of more than 400 Ukrainian companies. So please register. This is the English version of the site. And we have experts who process sourcing requests that come from the international partners. They go to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Economy, and we look for these companies in our database, and we communicate that in the open call on Facebook. You can always find these requests. And there are Falke, Denove, Sanders, and others. Last year, we had a very successful case where a Zhytomyr-based furniture company signed a contract with a Norway company to ship furniture for children from 2 million, so total value like 1.5 million per year. And it's incredibly great results. Your win is always our win, and we want to have more of that. Also, I would like to tell you here that a great place for sales is an online platform. We also cooperate with Ukrposhta, with technical systems, projects and programs, competitive economy in Ukraine. And you can see that platforms like Etsy have more than 3,000 Ukrainian companies, and they sell goods from $5,000 to $7,000 a piece, and that's a potential for each of you, starting from handmade and even more sophisticated technologies to sell online. So I encourage you again, do not miss out on these opportunities. Etsy, Amazon. In Ukraine, there are professional consultants who provide this kind of services, like a turnkey solution. So use this opportunity and start selling. So after all this theoretical part, I would like to tell you, or show you rather, more real cases and success stories of people who really received great results, who really, by putting some effort, received real contracts. For instance, EN network that I mentioned, we have a participant from Donetsk, who participated in one of the B2B matching events, and she signed a contract with a Polish company, and we expect that in Warsaw, soon there will be our Ukrainian made sportswear for children. And we're very happy about that. It's great that a woman entrepreneur managed just in the sheer competition to get this contract. And also we have another success story from Miora. It's a company founded by ladies from Ivano-Frankivsk. They're also part of our Creative Exports program. That gave the opportunity to systematize their approaches and their methods and what they want to do. They also arrived with a contract in hand from study tour in Estonia. And not only that, they use sustainable approaches to development, from design to everything else, and they received a grant of the project USAID, Competitive Ukrainian Economy, and thanks to these projects, they use new technologies and to rebuild their business processes to improve their production. And also, everybody knows Rito company, who for many years have communicated and cooperated with our office. They are active participants of all of our trade missions, and we also are very proud of their results. They do great and sophisticated prints and samples, and they sell successfully with world-great trademarks. And all of that, I told you for you to understand that it's possible to export, even if it seems that it's too much work, if it's too difficult, if it's possible. And when we do that, you first of all improve the competence of your company and your employees. You put the company on a completely different level of quality. And so in any case, the companies that get these results, they are proud of these results, and we're proud of such companies. And so we always say that there should be more creative industries from Ukraine. Creative industries have huge potential in the world market, so use these opportunities and get your success not only in Ukraine, but internationally. So that, at this, I would like to thank you and pass the floor to someone who, after all these presentations and examples, will tell us on her own example how this works, how this worked for her, and shares her impressions and experience.
Добрий день. Я сподіваюся, мене чути зараз. Дякую Тетяні за надане слово.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Tatiana, for passing me the floor. I represent the company Piomut, and I represent exports as well of this company and international exhibitions that we participate in. From Exports Office, we started working somewhere in spring. From that time, we received quite a lot of knowledge and skills and information about how to better develop, how to better drive our company forward. And for the beginners, it's a huge database of knowledge that you can use in indefinite number of ways. From our point of view, there's a fine line between e-commerce and exports. We did both. We did e-commerce, and now we are exporters. We export by air, by trucks. So it's a completely different thing. But in order to do that, we have been working for the entire year. The company was founded a year ago. On 26th of November, we will celebrate our first year from our foundation. Over that time, we managed to be represented in Thailand thanks to Export Promotion Office, and we also were represented in Frankfurt thanks to other company that helped us. There are companies in Ukraine that deal with creative collaboration and representing our manufacturers on international exhibitions, and I recommend it. Of course, we're currently looking for partners for future events like that in 2021. The most valuable thing maybe, or as an advice to beginner experts, first of all, learn or study English, because it's difficult to speak with the foreigners who don't speak English too much, and there will be some conversation with the partners who don't know your language. It's very difficult. So if you have unique goods or services, and a good price, another 30% of your, or even 50% of your success is communication. Because always all the decisions are passed by people. In order for the person to pass the positive decision, they have to understand you.
А потім вже можна вчити всі ці знання, що надає нам офіс експорту, тому що
then you get much more use from the knowledge that export promotion offices provide to you, because it's the kind of knowledge that keeps on giving.
Насправді також хочу сказати, що дуже
And also I'd like to tell you that for us,
одне з найзручніших методів, що ми для себе обрали, це були
one of the most convenient methods for us to work in was webinars.
І з цих вебінарів ми обирали ті, що нас цікавлять.
We selected those webinars that we wanted and we reviewed them, and it was very convenient. Because we spent much less time doing that, and we only looked for those topics we were interested in. Because it's impossible to see everything, but you try and absorb everything. So choose those sectors that are of interest to you, learn English language, and never give up. So that's all for me, because there's not much time. Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Так.
Отже, продовжуємо з нашим марафоном можливостей від програми Yes Ukraine House of Europe. І наша наступна можливість – це Creative Business Academy. Це інтенсивний буткемп, тренінг для креативних підприємців. Детальніше про який розповість Юлія Філіп'єва, менеджерка та кураторка Creative Business Academy зі сторони House of Europe, та Богдан Волинський, засновник, керівник дитячої архітектурної школи «Даш» міста Харкова. Юлія, запрошую до слова.
Architecture School for Kids, Dash, the city of Kharkiv. Hello, Olga. Hello, everyone.
Я розповім про Creative Business Academy.
I would like to tell you about Creative Business Academy. I will share my presentation now.
Отож, як Оля вже сказала, Creative Business Academy
As Olga already said, Creative Business Academy
інтенсивним онлайн-тренінгом,
is an intensive online training, and that is a part of our regional program. I'm responsible for this program. It is called Pop-Up Hub, House of Europe.
І вона орієнтована на всі таргети House of Europe,
and it is focused on targeted houses of Europe, all our audiences.
Але найбільший фокус ми маємо на культуру та креативні індустрії.
But our largest focus is on culture and creative industry. And Creative Business Academy is focused on some.
Цього року академія вже відбулася.
This year we had academy already, and
ми думали про цю навчальну можливість як про
офлайнову. From the very beginning we planned it as offline possibility. But due to pandemic,
нашу реальність, і ми мусили адаптувати школу під онлайновий формат.
To online format.
Але загалом школа здійснюється в основі її лежить концепція буткемпів.
Has a concept of boot camp.
Навчання є досить інтенсивним, вони відбуваються в обмежений проміжок часу,
It happens in a limited period of time, and participants have a possibility to learn on parallel cases of their businesses and to work on practical cases. The topic of Creative Business Academy is business development. Also, some legal issues, intellectual property rights. We also highlight how important promotion is. We study trends, how to analyze markets, access to finance, and pitching is our separate block, but central and key topic is internationalization. As it is a House of Europe program, and in general House of Europe, mission is to make connections between Ukrainians and professionals from European Union. The focus of this specific program is on internationalization. So about Creative Business Academy and its participants this year, there were representatives of creative startups, creative businesses, also creative entrepreneurs who work on their idea for more than a year and have a ready product or prototype. It is also important for us, the desire of the participants to enter international market. As we already said, internationalization is our priority. That's why obligatory condition of participation is to be proficient in English, at least level B1, B2, intermediate and upper intermediate. And also, it is required to apply to be qualified. Their task was to make a short video and to tell us about themselves and their business and motivation to participate. Video should be in English language as well to make sure that our participants do speak English. It is important for us because all classes in Academy are in English. And to enter international market, it is extremely important to know English. That's why it was a highlight for us. When I tell creative entrepreneurs, creative businesses, startups, I mean that the product is connected to one of the creative industries as
по-різному визначають креативні індустрії, по-різному
визначають креативність. The definition we use, first of all, is architecture, printing activities, literature, cinema, fashion, performative arts, radio, advertisement, TV. But this list is not final because we understand there are creative businesses between two disciplines with a strong creative component. That's why if you are not sure of have doubts, is your product part of creative industries, is your business creative, please ask us, and I'm sure that we can find common language.
Creative Business Academy в партнерстві з Creative Business Network. Більше розповість Расмус, якого ви бачите зараз на слайді.
Rasmus will tell you more about it in the next presentation. Also, he will tell about one more program, Creative Business Hub.
Локальні партнери
And we, as a local partners of this network in Ukraine, also implemented this year. But wait for Rasmus' presentation to know more details. I can just add that Creative Business Academy was implemented in partnership with this network, and It gave us a lot of opportunities as we could involve a big pool of trainers for our program. On the slide you can see just some of them. We had trainers from Estonia, Romania, France, Germany, Switzerland, Finland and other countries. And besides group classes, we also had individual mentor sessions. And we got a lot of appraisals from our graduates based on their results. I mean individual component, because in the group teams we had some topics together with an expert, but at the individual sessions startups had the possibility to ask their questions, the questions actual for them, and to get answers. Specific answers. And it's important to say that mentorship sessions and group classes, our participants had the possibility to speak not just to experts working in large organizations or those dealing with startups from outside, but also with EU startups. It was a possibility to learn from the peers, the ones the ones on the same wave, probably from those who just few steps ahead of them, and it also was very useful for the participants as it's very useful to hear to the experience of people who just made this way. At the beginning I told you that Creative Business Academy is a part of our program of Creative Hubs. That's why selecting the participants, we were very attentive to this regional aspect. This year, the participants of bootcamp were people from Odessa, Lviv, Rivne, Poltava, Zaporizhia, Vinnytsia, and I hope that next years this list of cities will be longer, and we are waiting for Dnipro very much because we are planning our next pop-up in Dnipro. Also, group of participants consisted of representatives of different creative industries. This project, for instance, there was a representative of architecture, a representative of crafts, music, print, publishing, games, design, cinema. And it's one more advantage and opportunity of this school. That is a networking not just Europeans but also for Ukrainians within the country. That's a possibility to hear that other people have similar problems and challenges. It's possible to hear how they overcome these challenges and just to be among your peers. Creative Business Academy is a 3-year program, and next year we are planning to announce new contests. If you are interested in this possibility, please follow us in social media not to miss these opportunities. If you have any questions or any comments, you can, here's my mail for them, and that's all that I wanted to share with you today. And I would like to give the floor to Bogdan, who is the graduate of this year Creative Business Academy. Bogdan Volinsky is from Kharkiv, Architecture School for Kids. Bogdan, please tell us about the case you worked with to Creative Business Academy and how was your experience of participation in the 4 years. Thank you very much, Yulia.
Дійсно, мене звати Богдан, і мій проект «Дитяча архітектурна школа», з яким я брав участь у навчальній програмі. В двох словах розповім про нього. Власне, це мій перший підприємницький досвід, такий серйозний став. Дитяча школа, ми називаємось DASH.
School for Kids, it is called DASH.
Наша місія в двох словах – це трошки змінити суспільство. Все почалось з того, що я хотів змінити щось в професії і зрозумів, що в першу чергу професія, те, що в ній відбувається, це наслідок процесів в суспільстві. Із архітектора перетворився на підприємця, який працює з освітою. І ми б хотіли жити серед людей,
focused on the education, because we want to live among the people with similar mentality, the ones who create something. And it's very important to share the skill to create something. And creators, they are very joyful, and we are very pleased to be together with these people. Also, these people are responsible for their actions, and they have proactive position because they feel they can influence the world, society they live in, and that's how we came to an idea of architecture school for kids. There are just architecture classes. Now there are not just architecture classes, but design also.
Ми надаємо цей сервіс, створюємо заняття.
And we provide this service, we create these classes, and also we create our unique learning programs. We train the tutors, and also we implement our programs into school, into private schools so far. And
уже більш ніж 7 українських містах.
For 5 years of our work, we've been to 7 cities of Ukraine. We have thousands of graduates.
Власне освітній метод, яким власне
ми our educational method became the result of this work, and that's what makes our programs different.
Цей проект як про бізнес, він власне починався
Regarding this project as business, it was started as a project of civil society organization. It happens very often with culture industry, and a lot of academic participants are people who wanted to do something, probably civil society activists who started to transform their civil society activism into a project. And our mission is social enterprise, and its goal is to work with the society. Two main challenges. The first one was going from civil society activism to entrepreneurship with the organization, taxes, structure with hard employees instead of friends. And the second challenge was connections with the consumers, because when you work like that, you have some mission for the society. And so we changed our target audience from civil society organizations, from people who share our views to the world. When you become an entrepreneur, a business structure, there are some direct clients who provide the activities, and our mission is to change the society through creative education. And our clients are children and their parents who provide our existence. And it's very important to find a communication with them, to find some joint interest, because when they come to us, they don't come just with a thought to change the world. It's very important for them what they get at the end. So when we are moving from one sphere to another, one communication becomes a real challenge. To sum up our goals,
ми працюємо уже більш 5 років,
і нові виклики, які з'явились. Ми
хочемо розповсюдити нашу мережу. У нас є партнери в Івано-Франківську, з якими ми вже кілька років працюємо, а ми хотіли би
We work with them for many years already. We would like to open these schools in 5 biggest cities of Ukraine, Kyiv, Dnipro, Odessa, and Lviv after Kharkiv. And also we work with private schools at the moment, and we would like to introduce our special programs to state schools as well. But we need the support of the Ministry of Education for that. And we hope that we can convert the experience into the new programs to bring this information and knowledge in the network of state schools as well, public schools. And also regarding Business Academy, when we understood how global is our challenge, that these are the needs of the society, not just Ukrainian society, but of the global society, we decided to create an app to study architecture. That's what we are doing now. First of all, we had the idea of online lessons, and now it is one of our goals. Probably that's all from me, but we also have Q&A session, and I will be very glad to answer your questions. Thank you very much, Bogdan, for your presentation.
Ви сказали, що більше 5 років уже
I have a question. You told us that you are busy with the school for more than 5 years. But could you tell us more about this transformation to more profitable activities?
Перехід відбувся десь після третього року роботи, після другого, після третього року. Така точка, я добре пам'ятаю, що це було паралельною діяльністю перший час до інших проєктів громадської організації або іншої роботи, як архітектор, я ще працював в сфері освіти над запуском приватного вищого навчального закладу. Дитяча школа була паралельним проєктом. От я вперше пройшов бізнес-тренінг. Якраз це було на третій рік роботи. І десь 2,5 року тому від сьогодні. І вперше почав виділяти окрему заробітну платню для себе як організатора, і ми підвищили плату за навчання, тому що спочатку у нас майже не було витрат, що ми все несли самостійно.
And after that we calculated expenses.
That's how we moved from site organization to business.
It was very important because it became a sign of sustainability of our project, that we can rely not just our audience, just the close circle of people who know this important, and sometimes we exist just in this very small circle of people. We thought that it could be a confirmation for us that this project is important for people.
Тобто таким поштовхом до цього переходу від громадської діяльності до підприємницької діяльності,
so this push forward from civil society organization to business, from hobby to use way of life happened thanks to training, right? And thanks to your desire to change the funding of your activities. We had no way of financing at all from the very beginning. But it happened because the project was growing in an organic way. We started posting in Facebook about it. It was in the first year we went to a few trips. After that we had more students. After that we got more students. And also we've had somewhat of administrative work we were trying to distribute it between ourselves, and we decided that we cannot carry on like that, and the choice was between growing up as civil society organization or entrepreneurship activities. And now I understand that balance is very important in this process, but at that time we wanted to get this confirmation from the society, because in civil society activities you are doing some projects all the time, and they are needed, and your foreign partners like them, your friends from culture industry like them, but you cannot see how they interact with the real society, you cannot see the impact. That's where I really wanted to get support from people.
Скажіть, будь ласка, а яким чином от цей такий складний для всіх
In what way
особливо сфери культури,
this complicated year, especially for the culture sector, was survived by you? What challenges did you have because of the crisis, because of the lockdown?
Навчив вас цей період, можливо? І які інсайти
What have you learned in this period?
Так, думаю, одна зі сфер, на які безумовно вплинула ситуація з пандемією.
Yeah, of course, the pandemic hit us strong, like everybody. The lockdown we survived, and it wasn't easy. All of the entrepreneurs faced that challenge, and similar challenge with paying the rentals, paying salaries, and some running costs that you have to pay from your pocket if you don't have any income or cannot sell anything. So we had to cancel part of the courses related to applied work, the part of the courses that we wanted to continue or could continue, we moved them online.
Треба сказати, що з технічної точки зору
Technically,
ніяких проблем ми відчули, що 21
not problematic. We finally felt that we're in the 21st century and we have all the services for online trade and training. So we sent the materials to the students by mail, and that's it. And then it just happened. The challenge was that we were not entirely ready as a business for this kind of crisis in general. And it's been only 2 years since we kind of started turning our hobby into a company. So we started financial plans, business plans, we had to manage our problems, communication only. As soon as we built our whole processes, then this hit, and we were not ready. It was some kind of a different level for us. So we see now that in order to be a sustainable company, you have to have some kind of training for this kind of crisis. And that has become the biggest takeaway for us, that in order to strengthen yourself, you have to have diversified sources and areas of activity, in particular online, that we prepared for a long time, and the crisis forced us to speed up.
Розкажіть, будь ласка, трохи більше.
Tell us a bit more.
Ви закінчили свою презентацію слайдом
You've just finished the presentation with a slide about your objectives, about your goals.
І останній був якраз про додаток, так, для того, щоб
And you created an app in order to have access to international markets.
Creative Business Academy.
And that was not without the influence from KT Business Academy. Tell us about this more. Yeah, we were thinking about online training for a long time, but it's thanks to the crisis and pandemic and Creative Business Academy, for the first time we realized that it's a must. And Secondly, thanks to the Academy, we realized how to do that, how that can be done, and we received inspiration, which is very important, confidence. So you can do that if you have a community of great international professionals who were together with us on the Academy, and graduates of Creative Business Network that we're going to tell you all about later. And so they inspired us, and it became obvious that this kind of app is better way rather than online school that we thought before. So for us, it's important to understand how do we make a difference, and how we go about creating content, and how do we enter the international market. This is very important for us. We thought initially about the development and trips and workshops. Thanks to the crisis and Academy, we realized that there is a different way, there's no less interesting way. And I want to thank again the Academy for helping us with that. They were wonderful weeks of important training, and thanks to everybody those who think and who still are in doubt, please, of course, participate in the Creative Business Academy. It's a great source of inspiration. It's a unity of professionals, and you don't always feel that, and it's a great team of... Thank you, Bogdan, for the presentation, for the feedback. We're running out of time. I think the technical team will show us another video about your academy, how it happens this year. Also, from our side, we invite you to follow our news and don't miss the next competitions, and please root for us. Okay, thank you.
Мене звуть Гаврилюк Марія, я співзасновниця проєкту Гуня Project. Гуня Project – це бренд виняткових речей. Ми створюємо унікальні предмети декору та аксесуари, використовуючи українські артизанальні техніки. Я за освітою дизайнер одягу, а моя партнерка Наталя, вона так само дизайнер одягу. Ми розуміли, що в нас немає бізнес-освіти і що нам потрібна якась там якісна оцінка професіоналів. Ну і, власне, за цим ми пішли в Creative Business Academy, і це ми і отримали.
Мене звати Богдан Волинський. Ми знаходимося в ДАШ. Це дитяча архітектурна школа. Ми тут вчимо дітей архітектурі і дизайну. Ціль – зміни суспільства з суспільства споживання до суспільства створення. Англійською вона звучить у нас «From consumption to creation». Думаю, що от саме рання освіта, вона може дозволити зробити ці зміни в суспільстві. Для нас цікаво розвивати цю ідею глобально, в тому числі, і якраз Creative Business Academy в цьому сенсі був дуже крутий досвід.
Для Creative Business Academy ми взяли за основу формат буткемпу, такого практичного інтенсиву. Тому академія відбувалась 2 тижні. Основною відмінністю цієї програми є великий акцент на інтернаціоналізації і на доступі до європейського досвіду. Програму проводили наші партнери Creative Business Network.
Creative Business Academy is a startup training program for startups and companies in the culture and creative industries. I must say I've been impressed by the participation and interest by these participants. It's been really high level, and they've been, on time and engaged and lots of questions. So what of course got a lot of interest was business modeling, pitching for investors, and telling your story. What is also unique about this program is that all the great people we have, of experts, of national partners, of jury members, that all come in and give fantastic presentations.
Creative Business Academy має дуже чітко окреслену регіональну складову. Цього року учасниками тренінгу стали підприємці з Рівного, Вінниці, Запоріжжя, Полтави, Харкова, Києва та Львова. Вони представляли такі сектори креативної економіки, як дизайн, мейкінг, візуальне та діджитал мистецтво, література, видавнича справа, комунікації та медіа.
Це можливість подивитись на свій бізнес в міжнародній перспективі. Також це можливість взяти участь в Creative Business Cup, в Україні, а також в Копенгагені. Це велика подія, яка збирає інвесторів. Це можливість знайти фінансування для свого стартапу.
В цій усій системі є там лекції, коли ви всі разом займаєтесь, і є ментор, якого тобі дають одноразово, і він з тобою проводить там 1, 2, 3 сесії один на один. У мене був дуже класний ментор. Виявилося, що в нього був проект з керамічною майстернею і з великим виробником, і він мені дав дуже багато класних порад і навіть контактів, порадив там, як виходити на міжнародні ринки, як нам краще там співпрацювати з іншими дизайнерами. Він дав мені досить багато там домашніх завдань, і це допомогло трошки ще й структурувати власний бізнес у себе в голові.
Актуальних тем, в принципі, було досить багато. Від найпростіших про те, як подавати себе, до теми інтелектуальних прав, яка дуже важлива через те, що ми, в принципі, працюємо з інтелектуальним продуктом. Дуже цікаво було відкриття про різний підхід, в тому числі до освіти і до ментальності, ставлення до освіти в різних країнах, на що звертають увагу ті чи інші батьки. Це дуже важливо в комунікаційній кампанії буде. Одна з таких супер важливих речей – це просто відчуття, що ти знаходишся в міжнародній спільноті протягом цих 2 тижнів.
My topic at the Creative Business Academy was about how the creative startups can work with the international corporate businesses. From this business academy, my experience is fantastic because you still sense the passion and the dedication and the good energy of these startups and the willingness to learn and the willingness to achieve something good and something meaningful. And yes, and that great energy, it shines through, even through the screen.
Отже, продовжуємо з нашим марафоном можливостей.
So let's continue with the marathon of opportunities, and the final opportunity for today that we want to present for creative startups and entrepreneurs is Creative Business Cup.
So today I would like to introduce the last presentation we have. It's about Creative Business Cup, which is organized and led by Creative Business Network. Together with me today are Rasmus Cherning, the CEO of Creative Business Network. Hello, Rasmus. And Gina Perrier, the CEO of Lapi. This is the startup that participated in Creative Business Cup Denmark, so the local competition, and then went to Copenhagen to showcase its startup at the Global Finals Creative Business Cup. More on that, Rasmus and Gina, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Olga. And what a nice video you just showed with some fantastic familiar faces from Ukraine and from around the world. This was from the Creative Business Academy Ukraine that we had this summer. And if any of you out there would be interested in joining the Creative Business Academy in the future, you have to stay tuned with the House of Europe. The House of Europe is our partner in Ukraine, and they're the ones that are co-organizing the Creative Business Academy, and it's the way to enter into Creative Business Cup Ukraine and then possibly win a trip to Copenhagen in the summer of 2021. Just as Gina Perrier did, she was in Copenhagen and went to Copenhagen for the global finals in 19, and for the first time a Danish startup won the global finals. But before we start, and I start questioning Gina and all that, we have a video that we would like to show of the global finals, so you have an idea of what goes on. This is from 2019 here in Copenhagen at the Bella Center. So if you could roll the video.
And what's been really exciting for me is to come in and meet all of these incredible entrepreneurs who bring their passion, who bring their love for ideas and creativity.
I'm incredibly honored to be here. I've never been to one before, and just incredibly impressed by the energy and the drive and the way CBC helps creative founders grow globally.
Is an event that is able to capture this essence of creativity and how that can impact the business world.
The Creative Business Cup's been amazing for us. We were winners in 2015, and it's really helped us raise investment, connect with all the other startups and other investors, and yeah, it's good to be back.
I really like it. It's very, how do you say, it's very human.
I made some great connections with top European companies I've been trying to reach out to in Japan, and it was just so easy and effortless to connect with these companies when I'm here.
Creative Business Cup is important not only for the creative industry, but it's important for the market itself, it's important for society.
I will definitely benefit knowing 60 and more of them from different countries.
And this just sort of creates this ongoing excitement and I think this self-sustaining sort of environment where people come in and they say, I'm part of CBC, I've met all these wonderful entrepreneurs from throughout the world, I'm going to continue doing the same thing, and hopefully year after year we just see this explode.
Azerbaijan, Guatemala, Cyprus, Thailand, Ghana, Bolivia.
Thank you very much. And now I'll do a quick share screen, if I may. I hope that you all can see my presentation. Yeah. It seems like I can't do big screen here. Let's see. There we go. So, that was wrong. There we go. So we are a creative business network. We're a network of organizations in 80 countries that all work to help startups from the culture and creative industries to grow. Why do we focus on the creative startups? Because they're part of economic growth, they create jobs, and they come up with great new solutions to many of the challenges that the world is facing. And they can nudge people. You all know that creative products and services can really differently than milk or a car can get under your skin or into your heart. So it's really a way to motivate and change behaviors among citizens. That's why we focus on the creative startups. And also, of course, there are some non-market values around meaning, identity, etc., that the creative startups and creativity and arts actually provide citizens. We have struggling for quite a while with the fact that we were just meeting once a year, and then we had all these national finals like Creative Business Cup Ukraine, Creative Business Cup Denmark, and we wanted to find a way that we could connect every day, all the time. And here in Copenhagen, we wouldn't have to be some kind of a bottleneck for that. And we have found that in thisis.cbnet.com. And the reason why we call it This is because this is really the network. These are the people that are there. This is Olga and Julia and Gina and myself and the investors and the startups. This is where you can find all of us. This is where you can actually go in and connect with people. You can find members that are near you. You can promote ideas. You can post stories that, if they're good, we'll bring them on to the regular website, cbnet.com. So it really is a place that we are growing slowly. We're letting people in batches, so to speak. And here you can also create groups for everyone interested in art thinking, for example, or in architecture. But you can also create groups that are only for those that you invite in. So it's like a big nightclub almost, where you have a big dance floor where everyone can meet, and then you have a few exclusive lounges where only some are invited into. Well, the analogy is maybe not so good, and then there's some that are open for all. So I hope you guys will come in and join the community, because here we have events. This is where we stream the academies. We have different topic groups, etc. So really join thisiscbnet.com. And that is all I had to present. So now I think it's time for you to hear from Gina. What is her business? What is she working on with? What is her startup Lapi all about?
Hi, my name is Gina, and yes, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Lapi. Together with Alexander, my co-founder, we made the first female urinal for outdoor events, such as festivals and marathons, or like any kind of big gathering outside. So basically, we are both architects, and we were working for a very big festival. And then we experienced that it's always a struggle for women to just pee. It's something that sounds simple and normal, but it can be very much hard in some situation. And no matter how much fun you're having, when it comes to pee for women, then everything becomes a nightmare because you can never find a quick, safe place to pee. It's either huge line or very non-hygienic, and a lot of the time we would go for improvised solutions such as like squatting by the fence or finding a bush, but in general at festivals there's not even a bush. So it's always not nice, and we're exposing ourselves to non-hygienic and non-safe environment. We observe a lot what men have, and their common male urinal, and we decided to make a female version of that urinal. And that meant that we made a product which was not just made for the women, but made also for organizations such as festivals and toilet rental company. So it would be easy for them to integrate the product into their maintenance and cleaning routine and transportation. So it was, and that I think was the main innovation. It was to make a female urinal, which is a fully industrialized product, and that is just ready to sneak into the routine of those offices. And so we had a lot of Lapi at the festivals and marathon all over the world the last year before the coronavirus. And it's been an amazing journey. We actually won a Creative Business Cup both locally in Denmark and but also the global in 2019, and that has been amazing. I think maybe I can share my screen so you can see a picture of Lapi.
Yes, please.
Yes. So can you? I don't know if you.
We can see it.
Yeah, you can see it. Good. Then that's how it looks, and it's big and pink, and there's no door and no lock. Basically, you are hidden by the shape of the product. So actually, no one sees you while you're peeing, but the fact that there is no door makes sure that you're only gonna pee and not do anything else for too long. So we make sure that no one is on their phone, no one is just doing any other parallel activity that could generate a line. It's all about efficiency here. The comfort is in the efficiency, and you don't touch anything, you squat, so it's actually quite hygienic, and it will suit perfectly new era after post-pandemic when festivals are ready to go again. Yes. I think that's it for me, and I think if you have any question, I would be pleased to answer them.
Yeah, if you can unshare your screen so we can see you again.
I will unshare.
Great.
Yes.
Excellent. So now you guys have an idea of what kind of product services startups can participate in and win the Creative Business Cup, and it was always said that Creative Business Cup could never be won by a Danish startup, but it could actually here in 2019. In 2020, we had to cancel, unfortunately. It was supposed to be in end of June, but that wasn't really doable. So actually what we're doing is next summer, in 2021, it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, the last Monday, Tuesday in June. We will have the global finals and the Bright Conference. It looks like that is possible, all the good news about vaccinations, etc. And here actually, those countries that already did a competition here in 2020, they will actually have a global finals. So in 2021, we'll do the global finals for 2020, and for 2021. Just so you know. But back to you, Gina. It seems like such an obvious need. I've been running marathons since I was 18, and I've been serving lines at concert halls, Roskilde festivals, and all things. And it's like someone must have thought of that before you guys. And if they did, how was it different? Or if they didn't, why is the world so stupid?
They did, and that's also our concept was already proven when we started, because there was already some like try out. The thing was that we've been to that festival a lot, the Roskilde Festival, and every year there was kind of a new test somewhere of a kind of female urinal. But basically it was always kind of put together on site, and it was never something scalable. It was kind of like a bucket, a shower curtain, like it was never something very thought through and never a industrialized solution. So that's where we were the first one. It was to make a completely industrial solution that also fitted the whole industry. So yeah, not just something where women could just be, but something that organization could transport, clean, maintain, handle, and something pretty much scalable.
And I guess since it's a design product and it's also an engineering feed, etc. On one hand, if people get close and take some good pictures, it could be copied somehow. So what kind of IP or intellectual property issues have you been thinking about? And what have you done to avoid that you're being copied?
Well, we filed the patent very quickly in the process, and actually that was quite crazy because the patent went through extremely quickly, much quicker than the norm, and that's because there are really not that many. Like we were the first one to try out to patent a female urinal, basically.
So to patent something, it has to be unique and new and etc. And you actually also put out there how you did. What is the patent part of it?
It's bound to this idea of covering and to the production process, but also the whole the idea of this like semi-open outdoor urinal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. But you also have, I suppose, a design protection and all kinds of other. Yeah.
We do. We have a design protection. We have a trademark, and I think our strongest protection is also just our brand, because we've been featured quite a lot, and I think we have a very somehow iconic design that is really. It would be so obvious if it gets copied. I mean, I think that what protects us the most today is our brand.
Mm-hmm. The fact that you are called Lapi, the colors you use, your design, the brand, the whole value of it. Has it been difficult to find investors? Because it must be, this is not just a website or just a website. It's not something that that doesn't require much investment. It must be quite heavy to invest in these urinals. How was it finding investors?
It was a long and quite difficult process. I think the most important was to really like collect all the information, and what was really helping us was that in very early stage of the process we were already talking to a manufacturer, to a potential huge client. Like we had a lot of green lights from a lot of different stakeholders, and I think that was the thing that helped us getting investors. Like we had letters of intent, we had many documents like that proving the need and proving the demand of our concept. And then we had a few interested investors, and we got a very good deal with the venture capital in Denmark. But it was difficult because we had a very tight deadline to make it because we had to finance production extremely quickly so we could deliver the 2019 season. And it was we got the investment, but if we had that investment maybe a week later, we could almost not have made it. So it was an extremely tight deadline, a lot of pressure and tension, but it was a huge relief to get the
Where do you have it manufactured, and where is it made?
It's made in Denmark.
Okay, fantastic. So there are actually some molds that can do that. Now, a few last questions here. You and your partner Alexander, you're architects. And I don't know how much you are taught about. I guess architects know that there's a market and there are some clients and stuff. It can be quite different from other creative fields. So, but growing your business and taking the view of being an entrepreneur at the same time as being an architect, was that a natural transition, or did you have to, find some books and read, or find some people that could guide you, or how was that?
I think it was a funny journey, and I think along the journey we were discovering that we didn't know about a lot of things. I think we didn't know that we didn't know. That was a lot
an advantage.
Yes, it was an advantage, because then we did a lot of things much faster than you would do in a normal business procedure, and we were kind of, so it was a very big advantage in some moments, but some moments, I mean, I remember when we entered a quite big accelerator that helped us a lot. One of the questions from the jury was like, but what's your business plan? And then Alexander and I looked at each other like we didn't know what a business plan or a business model was. So we were extremely ignorant on some extremely basic business principles that we learned along the way. And then, of course, we thought we could just very quickly find the finances and make that production and everything. And that accelerator helped us a lot, adding steps in our journey that was way too fast and way too utopic. Like we realized at that time that how long it will take for us to manage to take those products out for 2019.
Last question, or second last question actually, is about internationalization and going abroad. Yeah. I don't know if you've sold any lapis to Ukraine yet, but how is it going to sell to foreign festivals and foreign events? And are there any cultural differences? And I guess women pee the same way everywhere, but there might be a different tradition to what is acceptable or what can be seen or used or done.
I think that's something we hear all the time at the beginning when we just come to another country. People are like, people are not ready for this in this country. But when we look at which kind of person needs this product, it's within the festival industry, it's within the outdoor sport event industry. So it's basically all the same. So it definitely, all women in outdoor events, they just need to pee quickly, and and then they need lapis. And there will always be some women that maybe are not that comfortable with it, then they can always go to the toilet. And it's the same with men. Some men don't like to go to urinals, then they can just go to the toilet. Mm. And actually we got the international extremely quickly, much more than what we expected. And that was a lot because of press. We got a lot of international press. And within 6 months, we got lapis from one country to, we have partners today we have 17 partners around Europe and all the way to Australia.
Wow.
It got very fast.
Impressive. Many of the questions I'm asking you here has been because we have here at Creative Business Cup and CBN, we think that you can identify there are like 4 challenges related to a creative startup, and one is, business development, making business plans. If you come from a creative background, you don't really have necessarily those skills. I didn't have them or don't have them. I come from a political science background. Then also IP and protecting your work, what you have created, your song, your book, your whatever it is, and so that's another big issue because the value comes from a lot of the value comes from the IP, from the brand, as you said. Then another one is going international. Many of these creative products are actually born global in fashion and even in music or in TV series publishing. Stories can actually cross borders quite easily, even in strange languages like Danish. And then the last one, access to finance, finding investors is usually also more difficult if you have an idea that's intangible. Now your product is very tangible, but you could still encounter some prejudice or some different challenges related to actually getting capital through growth. So, and that's why I can pitch again for the House of Europe. The Creative Business Academy focuses on those 4 areas with a special focus on internationalization and business development, because we think we can, with the network, make a difference there. So if you need a French partner or a partner in Switzerland or in Australia or whatever, then we can help you with that. I think we're getting close to the end now. We have a minute left. So any last comments from you, Gina, to the creatives of Ukraine?
No, I think I don't have any comments. I would just like to thanks for the invite, and it's been a nice chat.
Likewise, thank you, Gina. And for any of you who want to know more about LAPI, you should go to www.lapee.dk. So LAPI.dk. And if you want to know more about Creative Business Network, it's cbnet.com. And if you want to go to the network, it's thisis.cbnet.com. So now over to our dear organizers here at Creative Ukraine, who is taking over from here. No one else? Are we just going to keep speaking? There we go.
We like to say that House of Europe is about connecting people and opportunities. So what does that mean? We want to connect professionals in Ukraine with their colleagues in the European Union.
Мене звати Катерина Носко, і я співзасновниця видавництва East Publishing. Ми вже встигли взяти участь у 2 open call'ах, це грант на переклади, а також грант мобільності.
Hello, my name is Georg Stecker. We are a partner in Austria of this production. The running or the leading partner for this work is the ensemble, the company Nova Opera. And I have to be honest, myself, I'm learning. That's what this production is bringing to me, or the connection with the ensemble Nova Opera in the last 2 years. I'm learning about how much artistical excellency is underway.
Мене звуть Гаврилюк Марія, я співзасновниця проекту Gunya Project. Ми розуміли, що в нас немає бізнес-освіти і що нам потрібна якісна оцінка професіоналів. Ну і, власне, за цим ми пішли в Creative Business Academy.
Мене звати Богдан Волинський. Ми знаходимося в ДАШ. Це дитяча архітектурна школа. Сама академія дає можливість побачити себе в глобальному контексті. Ти весь час спілкуєшся з різними людьми, з різних куточків світу, у яких є досвід. Так значно легше уявляти свій шлях.
The House of Europe is mostly an EU-funded project. There is a network of cultural organizations from the EU that are active in Ukraine. It's called OINIC. Out of this OINIC network, 4 have formed a consortium that actually takes this grant from the European Union and implements it on their behalf. This consortium is made up of the Goethe Institute, which is the lead implementer, the British Council, the Institut Français, and the Czech Center. And those 4 organizations manage the implementation of House of Europe, but they also closely work together with the other EU national cultural institutes in Ukraine. The House of Europe is working with 6 sectors: culture and creative industries. That's the biggest part of the program. Second is education, media and journalism, social entrepreneurship, health. And we're working with youth and people that are working with youth. There are more than 20 program lines.
Проект «Первая выставка гаража 127» существует при поддержке Дома Европы, House of Europe, и программы Creative Youth. Это наш первый грант, который мы получаем вместе с гаражом. Кроме того, это первый международный проект для гаража.
I'm Winnie Herbstein. I'm an artist. I came on as a mentor. I spoke about my reading of the work from my context and then encouraged the artists to speak about what their work meant coming from their context. A lot of the artists are making work that is political and really interesting work, and it was really exciting to see that. But as time went on and I began speaking with people and carrying on my conversations with Anton and Anastasia, I began to understand more where these artists were coming from, and that was really important for me.
We also have several dedicated program lines that target the region specifically. So one we call the pop-up hubs, and here the idea really is that this House of Europe pops up in a different place, in an already existing house of a cultural organization or a creative hub somewhere in a regional center of Ukraine. And then there is a second program line for those regions where there even is no such infrastructure. And here we are building our own infrastructure. We are building a transportable house, a mobile pavilion, by which we will be traveling through the periphery of the country and show up in places for a couple of weeks, providing a space for artists, for creative minds, for activists, for agents of change.
The House of Europe holds a special place within the European Union's support to Ukraine. Its budget exceeds 12 million euro for 4 years of activities. Its target groups are uniquely dynamic and among the most active ones: artists, creative entrepreneurs, media and healthcare professionals, teachers, young people. Together with their colleagues and fellows all over the EU, in the House of Europe, they all exchange views, share their projects, debate and help build a future that is more inclusive, more resilient and more creative.
It's about going to the people, giving people a place where they can actually meet each other, where they can encounter, and which they can inhabit with their ideas and with their fantasy.